Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to a brand new Football Manager 2020 simulation. Today, this morning, the news of Unai Emery's sacking reverberated around the internet, around North London, and around the planet. That's right, Unai Emery is out. As an Arsenal fan, I'm a little bit happy about that. I'm looking forward to seeing what the future holds. But I thought it would be a lot of fun to take a little look at... Good evening, everybody, and welcome to a brand new Football Manager 2020 simulation. Yesterday, the news of Unai Emery's sacking reverberated around the internet, North London, even the planet. And as an Arsenal fan, I'm a little bit excited about that. I'm looking forward to seeing what the future holds. It's always fun to have a bit of change when things are not doing so well. So I'm happy the club have made the change, and I'm excited to see what could happen. So what I've done for this simulation, as you can tell by the title and on screen, I brought big Arsene Wenger back. So he's still got all his stats he's still in the database from his previous spell at Arsenal. You know, obviously he did those 22 years, came back for us now. Apparently he's the one that loaned Dani Ceballos from Madrid, so fair enough. Obviously it's not true. So obviously the squad is business as usual. A few players, look, Martinelli's looking decent this year. I haven't really looked at the Arsenal squad post beta, but we join at this point. I did late first season. In terms of transfers, I don't think they did any extra transfers, no. Nothing we need to know about. It's all the usual stuff. So what we're going to do is we're going to go season by season. We're going to do 3 seasons, see how the club have got on. We'll also track the career of Unai Emery, who has been downgraded to assistant manager at Arsenal. That's brilliant. That's absolutely fantastic. I'm going to keep it like that. Let's go. Okay, season 1 is completed. I'm going to start off by seeing if Unai Emery stuck around as the assistant. So Unai Emery has moved on to Bournemouth. That's absolutely fantastic. He joined them on the 20th of December, and looks like he had a great time whilst he was there. He actually did pretty terribly. They finished 17th, just avoided the drop. But the most important bit, firstly, is Wenger still here? He is. And secondly, they finished second in the league. They've missed out by a point. Arsenal missed out by a point. They've lost the least amount of times in the league. They've just missed out to Man City. Chris Wood, the second top scorer in the league. Lacazette got 17. Aubameyang got 13. Some high scorers. Ashley Barnes got 12. Burnley must have done quite well. Let's go back to that table. Burnley finished 9th. That's decent. Kind of as you would expect with the top 8, really. It seems nicely balanced. In the bottom 3, not that much of a surprise. That is very, very interesting. Socrates got 12 yellow cards. That's some interesting stuff to see. Did they do any January transfers? Dani Olmo came in, and they also brought in Aurelien Tchouameni, who doesn't look like he featured. Dani Olmo got a few Premier League appearances. I'm not sure if those Champions League ones, well, they wouldn't have been for Arsenal. He looks obviously pretty decent. In terms of outgoings, Zach, just youngsters really, nothing too exciting. Who was the star performers? So Bernd Leno played 55 games with an average rating of 7.25. Wow, fair play. The key players, Aubameyang, 18 goals in all comps, 7.38. Lacazette getting 25 in all comps. Mesut Ozil has had a fantastic season by the looks of things. 15 goals, 13 assists. Pepe has done well. Guendouzi's got 13 assists, 7 goals from central midfield. So they've shared it around nicely. It looks like the team have done well. Eddie Nketiah obviously out on loan. He's going to return next season. 16 goals. It'd be interesting to see if he gets included. Now let's look at the individual competition. So finishing second, that's amazing for Arsenal, point off. But how did they do in each comp? We'll start off with the Carabao. They lost in the final to Tottenham. Now, it looks like it was a relatively full-strength squad. Nelson started over Aubameyang, but other than that, a decent squad there, you would say. Relatively easy route to the final, other than starting off with United, which I guess isn't that easy. FA Cup, how did they get on in the FA Cup? Obviously, Arsene Wenger known for success in the FA Cup, and he got knocked out by Man United. Goals from Rashford and Gerard Deulofeu. And then Europa League, how did they get on the Europa? They got knocked out in the second knockout round to Borussia Dortmund. So, no silverware for Arsene Wenger in this season, which is, interesting. I'm not sure if he'd be too happy with that. If we look at his milestones for this season, runners-up in the Prem, runners-up in the Carabao Cup, And that's it really. Quite a low key first season, but he's kept his job. And obviously we've seen Unai Emery disappear. I'm going to quickly look at the manager movement, see if there's any interesting ones. There's not. Nuno got sacked and replaced by Gerrard, which is interesting. Pellegrini got sacked, which is not too much of a surprise, I guess you'd say. Howe was replaced by Unai Emery, of course. And Nuno went up to Newcastle, so a bit of a roundabout for a few of the clubs. Let's have a look at the Champions League winners. That was won by Inter Milan. They beat PSG. That is very interesting. And then Europa League, we've got Borussia Dortmund went on to win, beating Real Madrid in the final. So that's season 2. That's season 1, sorry. Season 2 and 3 are where I think things are going to start to get interesting. So let's move on to those ones. Right, first up, I want to see what Unai Emery's doing. It's the most important thing to me. He's now the manager of Atletico Madrid. Right, okay. So, I don't think that will ever happen. He left Bournemouth at that point. They finished 3rd in the league. I don't understand that. They sold some big players. He bought Wilf Zaha, Odsonne Edouard, Aaron Martin, a lot of wonder kids, fair play. They won the cup. They got knocked out in the semi-final of the Champions League. They beat Liverpool in the quarter-final. I just find this very strange. Bournemouth, I'm going to see where they finished in a sec, but I'm surprised about that, given he put them 17th the season before. Anyway, Arsenal, they finished 4th. Arsene Wenger still in charge. Back to their usual berth of 4th place. If we look at the full table now, they were 13 points off the top, a little less competitive this year. And they, in fact, just managed to get in there ahead of Tottenham. I've noticed Wolves have qualified for the Euro Cup too, and I still don't really understand how this one works. Like if we look at the players involved, it's a bunch of second-rate teams, and I'm a bit confused about it. I can't really. I remember seeing it, but look, we're not going to talk about that one today. So anyway, Arsenal just missed out. Leeds got promoted, which is very interesting. Lacazette top scorer with 18. Nothing else really that exciting to shout home about. Transfers. Now, obviously, we have known for a long time that a lot of people would say Arsene Wenger's transfers were questionable. We finally spent some money on some big players. Has he continued that tradition? Looks to me like he has to some degree. So, he's brought in Daniele Rugani from Juventus. Dries Mertens from Napoli, who I imagine is at the tail end of his career, on a free. Connor Cody, interesting choice. Morton Burr, absolutely no. Oh, he's a new gen. Arnold Bodar, I don't know if anybody's familiar with him. I'm not personally. Evan Leroy Robin, and of course Olivier Ncham, who Celtic fans will be very, very, I'm probably not too happy about that one. Seeing him, Arsenal take Tierney and Ncham. In terms of the outgoings, Rob Holding went to West Ham for 20 mil. Mustafi to Southampton for 15. Martinez, Louise, and then no one really of a right lot of interest. A few players went out on loan. Kolasinac, Mavropanos, Saliba, Nelson, and El Neni. Cam Chambers and Nketiah also left the club. Nketiah, I thought he might get some Premier League game time, but he's gone on loan to Mainz. 6 goals in 15 games. He went in January. Interesting one, that. So, let's have a wider look at the squad. The best player this season looks like Dries Mertens. Apparently, even at the ripe old age of 34, he can still get 15 goals in 14 starts. A decent return in the league and in other competitions. That's a nice signing. Fair play. Lacazette got 24, 7 assists, 5 man of the matches. Kieran Tierney getting 8 man of the matches from left back. Big fan of that. Aubameyang got 23 in all comps. Guendouzi getting 17 assists. Danny Olmo starting the lion's share of matches. Is Mesut Ozil? He didn't really get much of a look in. Still did okay though. So quite an interesting one there. I guess we would say that the main lineup is a 4-2-3-1. Smith Rowe's got tons of games on the left, which surprised me a little bit, but fair play. So obviously it's the first season for Arsenal in the Champions League, but also they went on to win the Carabao Cup, this time getting the better of Chelsea on penalties, and then Tottenham over 2 legs. Eddie Nketiah scoring in that one, which is very nice. And then Lacazette, Danny Olmo, and then Mertens and Olmo getting the 2 goals in the final, which is decent. I've noticed here that Champions League and Europa League have appeared, so one would assume they got knocked. Wow, they didn't even make it. They finished 3rd in their group behind Valencia and Dortmund, getting knocked out on head-to-head with Valencia after drawing and losing their 2 games. Wow, that is disappointing by them. But that, of course, means they've dropped down into the Europa League. And they went on to win it. So they're the champions of the Europa League, which obviously means even though they got 4th place, they would have got back into the Champions League regardless. Beating Milan in extra time with a 120th minute winner. They scraped past United here, who have got James Rodriguez. They beat Roma. Some difficult ties there. You know, a lot of these wouldn't be out of place in the Champions League. Then we got the FA Cup where they got knocked out by Leeds in the first round. So a very middling season. They got 2 bits of silverware. Got Europa League and a Carabao Cup, which isn't too bad. Guaranteed Champions League football for the next season, and I'm sure they've got some youngsters that are coming up. Guendouzi's looking like a bit of a player. Not bad. Unai Emery's just absolutely loving it at Atletico Madrid. Bournemouth ended up in 16th again, so I'm not sure how he's made the jump from Bournemouth to Atletico Madrid, but I do kind of love it. Right, let's go look at the last season. Okay, the final season, 31st of May 2020, with 2 years in the books. In fact, I don't want to look at Arsenal yet. We're going to look at Unai Emery. How's he getting on? He's still the manager of Atletico Madrid. Looks like he's having, look at his picture, he's having a wonderful time out there. He has guided them to, after finishing 3rd last year, 4th this season, behind Valencia, Barcelona, and then Madrid at the top of the table. In terms of schedule, I'm just going to scroll right to the bottom. They lost in the Champions League final as well. Wow. So Unai Emery has got himself to a Champions League final. You can't make it up. Anyway, let's see what's going on at Arsenal. Is Arsene Wenger still in charge? They're top of the league. They've won the league with Diego Simeone in charge. Hang a bit. What? I lost for words here. Arsene Wenger left at the end of last season. So this full season has been without Arsene Wenger. So he left. I'm not sure if it was a retirement or if they forced him out of the club. I'm not sure if it will say. It just says left. So after winning the Europa League, he's moved on to pastures new. He isn't at a club anymore. He's available, unemployed. So Diego Simeone came in. I tell you what, as an Arsenal fan, that would be very interesting. And he's won the Premier League with them. It looks like he's not won any other trophies, though. So in terms of business, he brought in Rafinha, who looks very, very good on this game, to be fair. I think Wenger brought this guy in just before he left. And outgoings, there's not really been any. So Mesut Ozil went to Shakhtar, but it seems like they're just using the same squad. So like a few aging players and then obviously a core of youth. Let's have a quick look at the schedule then. If we go to the bottom. So Arsenal seem to be knocked out in all competitions pretty early. Quarter-final with the Carabao by Wolves. 3rd round again by Leeds, the 2nd season in a row. And then got knocked out of the Champions League by Unai Emery's Atletico Madrid. You can't make it up. But they went on to win the Premier League. So if we look at the full season, they got 90 points, just the 4 losses. Edging out Man City. The usual top 6 again. Very, very bog standard right there. Arsenal being the first one to beat City after four years. Lacazette, the top scorer, again, absolutely banging in goals season after season. Florian Andone, 2nd place. Bernardo Silva, 3rd, getting 19 goals, which is peculiar. Everton at Tottenham, getting 17. And Harry Kane at Man City, getting 17. I do love this game when you get in the future. Pepe got a bunch. In terms of Arsenal's star performers then, if we look at the squad, if we sort by average rating, Mkhitaryan featured in 1 game and scored, bless him. Lacazette was the star player for the season. Aubameyang didn't do as well this year, less goals. Obviously, he's 32 years of age now. Reece Nelson got some game time. Bellerin, Guendouzi doing well. Rafinha, the big money signing, not really getting much game time. Pepe did okay. But that looks really to be about it. I'm quite surprised they've won the league. The team doesn't look that inspiring. Granit Xhaka is unhappy and he's currently out on loan at Brighton, which is excellent. He wants a new challenge, not too surprised. Dries Mertens out on loan. A few players obviously left, but for the most part, it is, like I said, relatively underwhelming. But winning the league, that is excellent. Not much money spent this year. Arsene Wenger has moved on, and Arsenal have become, in the post-Unai Emery era, if we have a look here, as far as 3 years go, I actually would take that as an Arsenal fan. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. What are your thoughts on the above? I hope you guys did enjoy this video. Let me know if you'd like to see me do more simulations in the future, and I will definitely endeavour to do so. Have a fantastic day. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you all next time. Bye, guys.